Alright, what is going on, guys? Pebbles back again, and as you see here, poll selection 2022, and then I end up clicking the wrong one. Either way, poll selection 2022 is Among Us, and you'll see here that we actually have quite a nice list of characters, and whether or not you should summon on this banner is honestly going to depend on where you are in the game. I noticed that a lot of people wanted to originally save up for poll selection, but then it's just over the course of the game, they've kind of re-released banners so much, or they've released so many like different good characters that some of these characters can become relatively redundant or like unnecessary. And I'm personally going to be skipping poll selection. I think I'm going to do like the first multi or two, if that, and you'll see here step 1 is going to be free, so at least you're going to get a little bit of free value here just for the poll selection, just straight up. So let's just get right into it. Obviously you're going to have the 7th anniversary characters, and these characters alone are going to be very, very, very strong. 7th anniversary Ichigo, in my opinion, even though I do think that he's a strong unit, I don't think he's necessary at all, which I'll go into in a little bit. So let's just go into this list and let's work our way downwards going up, because that's how the voting system actually ended up going. You'll see here round 1 versus round 2, and then it goes in who was like last place. So let's just quickly go over it and let's talk about why some were last place and some were obviously like voted in the beginning, like to begin with. So first and foremost, we do have Toshiro over here. He's pretty much just an epic raid farmer. His only real use is going to be the fact that he has Link Slap Potion skill, right? And then on top of that, he also has the Heart Droplet Drop plus 30%. He's good for autoing Inheritance Zone. He's good for epic raids as well. Since this character has weakened defense, you can actually stack double weakened defense at T15, and then that will provide insane amounts of damage to the main boss, because you also have access to this, which is his debuff ability special move, which will actually debuff the boss by, I believe, 80%. You'll see here weakened defense, and then the debuff minus 80% defense. The way that defense gets calculated in this game is it's pretty much just an extra 80% damage to the boss for 10 seconds. And that is usually enough to just go through an entire bar of HP. So usually, if you have 2 Toshiros, you can use his special move in the second phase, like the beginning of the second phase, and then the beginning of the third phase, so that way you can at least try to bypass the harder stages of epic raids. Some of them are going to be a lot more annoying than others, like for example, Yuha with all of his shields can be really frustrating for some new players, especially if you're new and you don't understand the patterns. So I personally like this Toshiro. I think he's actually really, really good, and all of his attacks actually hit from almost anywhere in the map. Like his first strong attack is going to be the 40% mag for strong attack, so hits from anywhere in the map. 800 AoE distant hits from almost anywhere in the map, and then full screen third strong attack hits from anywhere in the map. He's just a very, very good character when it comes to epic raids, and I do think that he deserves to be on this list just because of the value he provides. Next, we have Orihime, who provides pretty much the same value that Toshiro has, where Toshiro will help deal a lot more damage. Orihime, on the other hand, will help nullify a lot of damage. Like, you'll have multi-barrier plus 2, she's a team healer, and then I believe she has healer as well. Does she have healer? Oh, she doesn't have healer? Interesting. Okay, so she doesn't have healer, but she does have team party recover 20% stamina, which that's going to be really good for content like Inheritance Zone. In Inheritance Trial, even though she doesn't provide super Link Slap potions, the fact that this character heals the party passively, and then on top of that heals the party while causing multi-barrier, so all your allies get 3 barriers and she gets 5, means that in epic raids you can opt to not dodge the red puddles. Obviously you have to dodge the purple, and in Inheritance Trial and Inheritance Zone she provides really good damage mitigation just for using your strong attacks, which I think is actually really good as well. She has Havoc. She hits from anywhere across the map with almost all of her attacks. I believe her first strong attack hits from even the corners of the map in epic raids, which is good. And then her second strong attack is the 960, hits from anywhere on the map, and then full screen third strong attack. She's just really, really, really good. I personally love this character. Having one of this character in all my epic raids is always nice to have, even if you have other characters who have like the droplets, or I can pull it up because like Uryu is a perfect example, or Ulquiorra. Ulquiorra is actually a perfect example as well. So let's take the Uryu. And let's take the Ulquiorra. So you'll see here, like this Ulquiorra, for example, gives you Link Slot Potions +5, Droplets +30%, and then Super Link Slot Potions +5. And then the same thing goes for, is this the Uryu? And then the same thing goes for Uryu, where you have Link Slot Potions, Super Link Slot Potions, and then Droplets. So there you have a lot of value when it comes to those characters, just because they literally provide you all the farming materials that you need for farming pretty much everything for Link Slot Potions, right? You have the T15 to T20, the T11 to T20 Super Link Slot Potions, you have the 1 to 10 Link Slot Potions, the Droplets, you have the 11 to 20 Link Slot Potions, Link Slots, not Link Slot Potions, but Link Slots. So there you have a lot of value there, right? So that's why I really like this Orihime, because even though she doesn't provide droplets, she helps farm a bit quicker. So giving this character weakened defense on her special move for T15 or T20, in my opinion, is worth doing. Aizen, I think, is the only one here that I think is just kind of out of place, because he doesn't really provide any type of value except for in guild quests. If you really like guild quests, I can see this character being useful. He is an Espada killer, which Espada week is usually the most annoying for most players. So if I actually pull it up right here we go. So when I pull up Ulquiorra, this character has status ailment attack boost plus 80%, range damage plus 30% in guild quest, killer effect plus 50% in guild quest. This character speeds through Espada week like butter. And I honestly think that this character is better than this character for melee Espada week. He might not be, I haven't tested it, but I don't really think that this Aizen is anywhere near as desirable as someone like this Ulquiorra. So I'm not going to go spend too much time into this character. I don't think that he's a bad character, right? We have Flurry, we have Bruiser plus 90%, Power Attribute, Soul Reaper, normal attack damage 20%, so he gets even more damage. And then he also has Poise, which is really good. For his Soul Tree, he does have Guard Break, so he's not completely like fish out of water when it comes to PvE content, but since he doesn't really provide any value outside of just raw damage, like I don't really see him being all that great. It's the same thing with this Ulquiorra. Like this Ulquiorra is great for Espada week. I think he's great for farming IT as well. The fact that this character has status element attack boost plus 80%, even though he doesn't have increased status element chance plus 10% for any reason whatsoever, he has an 18% magnification for strong attack, which means range collision. This is going to have a lot of hits, especially if there are a lot of enemies. And since this character is a NAD character, that usually means that your strong attacks aren't going to be dealing a lot of damage, which can be good for a character like this in particular, because this also means that he'll get more hits in with his strong attacks as opposed to like an SP character who will kill after like the first 2 hits hit, right? Like you'll end up getting like the actual max hits of like maybe 4 to 5 instead of 1 to 2 that an SP character would get. And that alone is really, really nice because his third strong attack is a vacuum into explosion, which means more hits. So the fact that this character for his first and third strong attack have hits on hits on hits, and then on top of that he has drain, which means that he can heal himself. In content like Guild Quest, this character is so good because if he procs his status ailment, which you'll try to honestly reset until you get that stupid status ailment attack boost, that means that he heals 20% when he procs that drain, and his special move has the debuff mechanic, and on top of that he also has the drain on his special, so you're guaranteed to go back up to full stamina damage boost, which I love this character. I literally this is my main runner for Espada week because he just makes it so much easier than almost anything else in this game. Now I'm not saying that he's like, you know, the best main runner, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I personally use him because I'm lazy as shit. And then yeah, no, I just really like that Ulquiorra. So I think this Ulquiorra has a bit more value than this Aizen, but it might just be, it might be biased. I don't know, call it what it is. What do you have for your Soul Tree? Damage to drain enemies plus 20%. If you proc the move, you're getting your status ailment attack boost 80%, which at 1 out of 5 means that this character is pretty much getting the damage of almost a max transcended Ulquiorra, just because this character survives. And it's not like he's nerfed on his bruiser either. He has a bruiser of 40%, flurry plus 1, he gets the range damage plus 30% in guild quest, killer effect plus 50% in guild quest. He has poise, which is nice. All his attacks cause drain, so hopefully he procs that status element attack boost. But when that attack boost goes off, man, at 1 out of 5, this dude is literally killing the final boss, like wave 5, in literally maybe 3 to 5 hits at 1 out of 5. I mean, that's with the gold chappy, but like at 1 out of 5 with the debuff mechanic. Oh my lord! Actually, no, I don't even. Do I use the debuff mechanic? I mean, I guess I do. Yeah, I'm lazy. Okay, maybe it's like 3 to 5 hits because of the debuff mechanic with his attack boost, because he also goes up to full stam. So I love it. I just really like that character. And the same goes for this Rukia. I really love this character as well. She's really, really good. The fact that this character ended up getting the booster plus 30% means that her boost will boost for 42.9% instead of the normal 33.3%. That can be the difference between a character reaching 4,000 attack in the base 4,000. Okay, usually for Guild Quest, you want a base 4,000 attack. This character with the booster mechanic honestly can help push a character to levels that they might have only had if they had a gold chappy, which I really, really like. She has ailment reversal, which is nice for the enemies that cause status elements. I don't really use this character for regular PvE. I'd only use her, I guess Guild Quest is PvE. Only really use her for Guild Quest. Sometimes I'll take her out of there. I do like her design. I think she's really cool. Flurry, bruiser of 60%, normal attack damage 20%, so she has a bruiser of 80% with the boost. And then she also has follow-up, so she actually hits the enemies as they're on the ground. Range damage plus 30% in Guild Quest, and then on top of that for her soul tree, you have guard break, sprinter plus 1, freeze immunity. I like this character, man. I use her for a Spada week, I use her for a Rancor week. At some points, I even use her for Quincy week before I pulled the Yuha, for example. So yeah, I genuinely think this character is busted. I really do. So I think that the value here in this banner comes from the fact that you have characters like Toshiro and Orihime that help you farm, and then you have Ulquiorra as well as Rukia, which are really, really strong NAD units. Same thing with Momo. Momo, I don't think she's even that strong. I actually think she's pretty trash. I think that she's pretty strong in IT, but her issue is at 1 out of 5, you have like no survivability. I would actually recommend you take like stamina in content like IT, just so that you have a higher chance of proccing your status element. Once you proc your status element, she's going to be dealing plus like I think 80% damage. No, it's times 5 damage, just something along the lines of that. And it's like you'll be dealing 5 times damage if you proc your status element. So I think that you're better off just, if the enemy can be slowed, just go stamina and try to survive, because you're probably getting carried anyways. Super technique link slot potions, technique link slot potions. She's pretty much just an IT farmer, but since she has increased status element chance against technique attribute enemies, and it's not restricted by affiliation, she does provide a bit of value there. So even though she has a no affiliation killer, I think she's still pretty good. She has guard break, which is good for PvE content like IT, and then she has a team boost, which I think that's probably like her main shtick. Like whoever's carrying you, at least they're gonna get a boost. Next, Lisa, just a really, really strong mind unit. Not really much to say here aside from just she's really strong. You have the status element spiritual pressure boost 80%. You have a berserker of 40%, and then on top of that, she also gets a plus 20% strong attack damage post start of the match, which means that it deals even more damage than normal. So this will calculate into each other, which I think is really good. She has paralysis and lacerate, which means that in content like IT, since she also has disabler, she'll actually be able to proc off her status elements. Usually in IT inheritance trial, characters will be immune to 1 status element, but they're never immune to 2, which means that Lisa will always have a place in inheritance trial and carrying an inheritance trial. She has havoc, she has debilitator plus 5 seconds. Her soul tree, she has damage to lacerate enemies plus 40%. So she's going to deal times 5 damage plus an extra 40% to enemies that she lacerates. And since she has disabler, very, very likely that she'll keep her status element spiritual pressure boost, unlike a character that can be a little inconsistent, kind of like Yamamoto. Yamamoto can be very, very inconsistent. Same thing with 7th anniversary Ichigo. Very, very inconsistent when it comes to keeping their status element spiritual pressure boost, despite having frenzy, because they don't have the increased status elements, the increased status element chance, right? The increased chance to proc your lacerate slash paralysis, like Lisa. And even though she does have a garbage killer, in my opinion, with Quincy killer, I think that she's really good. I have no real complaints against Lisa at all. Next we have Isane, probably one of my favorite characters to be released. She also came out just like the Toshiro and the Ulquiorra, where she is a good for epic raid farmer, where she has mind droplet drop plus 30%, and then mind link slot potions plus 5. So she's kind of like Toshiro, where she only really provides her value in content like epic raids, but for content like Inheritance Zone, she actually has a third strong attack that heals, which means that she can actually help auto quite a bit. And since she does have Havoc, and then she also has the healer, I believe she has healer. Am I tripping? Why do I keep thinking characters have healer, bro? I don't know why. Well, she has medic, but she also has full stamina, only reduced strong attack cooldown 6%. So she gets her strong attacks back relatively quickly. She heals 40% with her third strong attack. I genuinely love this character. Heart attribute character, strong attack damage plus 20% post start of the match. Damage inflicted at full stam 45% at T15, and then at T20 at T15 I would give her weakened defense if you're farming epic raids. I'd give her full stam damage boost 25% if like for normal use, and then at T20 I gave her weakened defense and full stamina damage boost just so that I could farm epic raids faster. This character can hit from across the entire map in epic raids as well. First strong attack is going to be a lunge, first strong attack, 3000 length beam, second strong attack with the width of Safui Retsu as well as 6th anniversary Aizen. That's a good length beam, a good width beam, and then her third strong attack is just a AoE distant third strong attack. If you charge it, it deals double damage and heals twice the amount, which as a team heal, a 40% heal, usually the team is going back to full HP, especially if you're running multiples of this character. I love this character. It's for the same reason that I like the Orihime. For the same reason that I like this Orihime is the same reason I like the Lisa. It's just very, very safe epic raid runs for the most part. Next, we have 7th anniversary Uryu, still in my opinion the best speed character in the game. I do think that he's better than Ulquiorra, the new Ulquiorra that came out, and that's just because he's just crazy, right? We have Frenzy plus 2, we have a Berserker of 20%, which doesn't sound like much, but Frenzy plus 2 is already stupid damage. He has Guard Break plus hidden enemies, so he doesn't have to use a Zeta Ball, and then on top of that, even though he doesn't have Marauder or Sharpshooter, I only think that the Marauder and Sharpshooter is really good for some stages in Senkaimon and some stages in Extreme Co-op. And even then, having this character in Extreme Co-op still provides so much damage that I don't really think it's all that big a deal, because he also has increased status element chance against power attribute enemies, and since he doesn't have the increased status element spiritual pressure boost, instead he has Frenzy plus 2, it's consistent damage. The fact that he has consistent damage, in my opinion, is huge. He has Weaken and Drain, which means that he's probably healing after every attack as long as the enemies are power attribute, which almost all content in the game that you're going to be bringing him in, the enemies are going to be probably power, unless it's like Guild Quest. So Inheritance Zone, Inheritance Trial, Epic Raids, this character is going to be proccing all the time, so keeping him at full stamina is very, very, very likely. And then on top of that, his gauge effect, when he finishes his gauge, he gets a instant 30% cooldown reduction to all of his strong attacks, and then he has Debilitator plus 5 seconds, which is good, especially for stuff like weakening. You have Long Stride and Sprinter plus 2, so this character flies across the battlefield, and if his healing wasn't already enough, he provides 20% healing to the entire party. In Arena, he gets Start Power Up Item plus 2, Increase Special Move Uses plus 1, and he also picks up Poise. He doesn't get Last Ditch, which is kind of unfortunate, because I think if he had Last Ditch, I think in Arena he'd be a lot better. But this character is just an overall really, really strong unit. He has the debuff mechanic on his special move, which, as we talked about with the Toshiro, where are you, Toshiro? Yeah. Whereas I talked about with Toshiro, it's literally an 80% damage increase to your party. So in content like Epic Raids, Guild Quest, like this character is just stupidly OP. Like he's really legit, just crazy OP. Next, we have Nel, who got voted in. She's just a Link Stop Potion unit with a Super Link Stop Potion unit. She's hot. I guess that's why she got more votes than most of the characters on this list. But for the most part, she's just a Super Link Stop unit farmer that you want to take into IT. I really wish that this character had increased status element chance, because her kit, in my opinion, is not all that great. It's not bad, it's just not all that great. Berserker 40%, damage to drain enemies plus 20%, but you have to drain the enemies, which you're already dealing times 5 damage, and if you already drain the enemies, they're probably dead. Is what it is. I wish that she got increased status element chance instead of damage to drain enemies. I think it would have been better for her. What she does have that makes her really strong though is her full stamina only. Increased strong attack damage plus 40%. If she's at full stamina, you get not only the full stamina damage boost from the links and the T15, T20 skill that you might want to put on her, but you also get access to plus 40% damage when you use a strong attack if she's at full stamina. And the reason that's important is if you play the content like Dokkan, say she had a berserker of like 60%, right? This is a strong attack. Like let's say the base strong attack is 60. Let's say the base hit of her strong attack is 100. With the berserker, you get like plus 60% if you opt to get because she has a berserker 40%. Let's assume that you give her some good links, right? So let's say you give her 20% berserker links, and then you give her 40% full stamina damage boost, and then you give her 25% from the T15 skill full stamina, right? So that you're gonna get a times 1.465, so you get an extra 65% damage increase. But here's the kicker: she's at full stamina damage boost, so this damage would be what you normally would get, but instead of getting plus 205%, no, excuse me, instead of getting plus 105% damage, you're getting plus 65% damage from the full stam, and then you're multiplying in another 1.4. So you see the damage difference here as opposed to 100 times 1.6 times 2.05. So instead of getting like an extra 40% to your full stamina damage boost, it's calculated separately. So you'll see here that because she has this skill, instead of something like full stamina damage boost plus 40%, which I think would be inferior to this skill, she's actually dealing about 12.7% more damage than a normal character would. That's a very, very, very powerful skill. The only issue is that you need to keep your full stamina, which fortunately she does have drain. So as long as you're playing well, you're pretty much good to go. My only concern, honestly, is in content like IT Ultra, if they have like a Rancor killer, this girl dying in one hit. And that's why I kind of wish that she had increased status element chance. That way she can protect herself a bit more, even with her normal attack damage. Because you're almost never going to use her NAD. Otherwise, you're gonna get smacked the fuck up. Like, I mean, it is what it is. But either way, I do like this character. I think she's good. Next, you have Grimmjow, another character that instead of getting increased status element chance, instead of getting increased spiritual pressure boost when you proc a status element plus 80%, this character gets super link stop potion units. He gets the regular link stop potion units, but he also picked up frenzy plus 2. And the fact that this character has the 3000 length beam, the good beam, the really nice thick girthy black mamba dick beam, that means that this character can literally hit from across the entire map, like Angela White Black style. Next, his second strong attack. I don't like his second strong attack, but I don't think that it's bad because he has frenzy plus 2. This character has the vacuum explosion, so this is going to be like a vortex, brings him to the middle, explodes, causes a lot of damage. Third strong attack is going to be the same strong attack as Isane or Retsu, where it's an AoE distant third. It is AoE distant? Yeah, AoE distant third strong attack. So 840 radius. If you charge it, it becomes 1080 radius, and on top of that, it deals double damage, which with frenzy plus 2 is really, really, really strong. And then on top of that, he has weakening on all of his attacks. His only issue that I don't like is that he didn't get increased status element chance, which would have made him, in my opinion, busted beyond all reason. Team party technique attribute a Rancor damage to status element affect the enemies plus 20%. I think that this is unnecessary, just because you have to proc weakening, and if you're procking weakening, you're dealing the times 5 damage for piercing their iron skin. But not only are you dealing times 5 damage, but you're also dealing plus 50% damage because they got weakened. Alright, so I don't think that giving him an extra 20% on top of his plus 600% damage is really all that is really all that necessary. Frenzy plus 2, having 20%. I do like this character though. He's so badass. Damage to weaken enemies plus 20%. Unnecessary, like I said, just like the status summon affect the enemies plus 20%. It makes his soul bomb a lot stronger, which is nice, but for regular IT, I don't think he really needed it. Guard break, weaken immunity. I wish he did get increased status summon chance. I think that he'd be a lot more busted, and I think that it's a really big issue because they did come out with this Uryu that literally just straight up pierces Iron Skin, and the fact that he pierces Iron Skin really kind of made this Grimmjow lose a lot of his value. In regular content, this Grimmjow still an excellent unit. I would definitely recommend summoning on this banner if you're missing like half of this banner. But if you already have like a super link stop potion unit for every color, I think that this is honestly an easy skip, unless you just, you know, want to summon for your collection, which I definitely can understand. Now going into this Ichigo, and the reason that I don't really like this Ichigo all that much is because his first strong attack is Diarrhea Flow. It flows like the consistency of being able to hold diarrhea after you had like 17 packs of sour cream at your local Taco Bell. It's not good. His second strong attack does have the 960 AoE with the Vortex, but it's a bit wonky compared to a lot of other 960 into homing vortexes, and his third strong attack is a standard full screen third strong attack. I think that where this character shines is the fact that he has Bombardment, he has Weakening, and then he has status summon Spiritual Pressure Boost 80%. This character hits like a truck when it comes to his Soul Bomb. Not as much as Yamamoto, but Yamamoto in my opinion was kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? His specialty is his Soul Bomb, and on top of that he's just an overall really good character because of the beam. But this character's first strong attack, they came out with a new skill, a new strong attack that's like a cross, but the problem is that the cross is really, really narrow and goes in all directions. So if the enemy is like dodges to like the bottom, like to one of your corners, you're missing them, which is really unfortunate. So I don't personally like his first strong attack. I'm not saying he's weak. I use him in Guild Quest all the time, but mine is also a 5 out of 5. At 1 out of 5, I think he still provides a lot of value. He has Soul Reaper and a Ronkar Killer. He also has Sharpshooter, which means that nullified range resistance, so he's good in almost all weeks in Guild Quest. He's also good in all extreme co-ops where they let him in there. Status and Spiritual Pressure Boost is always good. Shared complete status immunity, so all your allies also become immune to whatever he gets, whatever he would be inflicted with, because he also has immunity to all status ailments. Hit an enemy chance, so he has a built-in Zeta Ball, Frenzy +1, Bombardment +1, Berserker 40% instead of a normal 20%, which with Weakening and Paralysis is really good. And then he also has, going into his innate skills, obviously the Havoc 20%, but he also has Enervator and Immobilizer, which can be really, really useful, especially if you want to be a toxic little slut in content like Arena, or if you want to be a little toxic slut, he also has the Sprinter +1. Actually, no, Sprinter +1 is really mid. My issue with this character, honestly, is that since he only got Sprinter +1 and he didn't get Long Stride, a character like Uryu with, there we go. A character like Uryu got Sprinter +2 and Long Stride, but like Ichigo, the Flash Step Master King of the world, didn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. Either way, I still use this Ichigo quite a bit. I just wish he was a little bit better. That first strong attack really does kill this character for me. Not because I think that he's a bad character, but because he doesn't flow as nicely as you would want from an anniversary character. If you've played with characters like 5th anniversary Ichigo, 5th anniversary Byakuya, 6th anniversary Aizen, 4th anniversary Mugetsu, back when he originally came out, those characters flowed incredibly well, and because this character's first strong attack isn't good, it kind of, I don't want to say it ruins the character, because it definitely doesn't. I'm not saying he's not strong, and I'm not saying don't pull for him, because I do think that he's worth getting. I just want you guys to understand that he's not like the end-all be-all to mine characters, whereas Caleb has to make a busted-ass Ulquiorra to even remotely compete with this Uryu who came out like 5 months ago. But either way, I'm very, very much excited for what's coming out for end of the month. I don't know if it's going to be Masaki. I don't know if it's going to be Retsu. I don't know if it's going to be Orihime. They've teased a healer, but I don't know what Caleb is going to do. At the end of the day, we're kind of at mercy at their court. Bankai livestream is going to be coming out soon. I'm not really quite sure on when the Bankai live is going to take place. Maybe I can pull it up for y'all, because I do plan to stream it. And I do want y'all to be there if y'all want to make it, right? You'll see here, program. Shout out to Cool's Discord, by the way. They're so clutch. You see here, opening is at 6 a.m. my time. Maybe it's 7 a.m. Oh no, it's 6 a.m. my time because of daylight savings time. So it's gonna be 6 a.m. on December, I think 26th. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be December 26th, and then it's gonna be at 6 a.m. for us. I will definitely keep y'all posted. Oh, here it is. December 26th at 6 a.m. in 4 days. So just mark that on your calendar. Keep in mind, poll selection is coming out literally on the 23rd. I'm surprised that they're coming out with it so soon, because they came out with it on the 26th, the 25th, and then the 25th again. So we'll see exactly what goes down here. This banner does last until January 6th, which means that you will be able to farm. Oh, yeah, January 6th at 2 a.m., not 8 a.m. This is based on someone else's stuff. But the thing that I want to make important here is you'll be able to get the Senkaimon orbs for January before you summon on this banner if you want to. All right, just be very wary. This banner is here to stay until the 6th, which also means you wait until end of the month gets shown. All right, maybe you'll summon for end of the month. Maybe you'll want that over the poll selection. Poll selection is really good value. Just keep in mind, I would recommend waiting. That's what I would recommend doing, and I'm personally going to do only the first step myself, but that's only because I have all these characters except for Aizen, and like I said before, I don't care for Aizen at all, just because I don't think that he's really necessary for my account personally. But since they have, how many Super Links on Potions units? You have Nel, you have Grimmjow, you have Momo, you have 3 Super Links on Potion units. For potions and droplets, you have Toshiro, you have Isane, and then for regular potions, you also have Toshiro, Momo, Grimmjow, Nel, Isane, Orihime. Very, very good value banner. I would recommend summoning for sure. Just, I would recommend waiting for end of the year to get properly announced with their stats and skills, and that will take place on the 28th in the morning. All right, I'll keep y'all updated. Y'all already know. I'll leave it at that. Stay blessed, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. Sorry that this video is so damn long, but I really wanted to talk about all these characters because I do think that they're worth looking into. Except for Aizen.